Hello, welcome to the channel. It's your favourite Scotsman here again. I have another cracker of a video for you today. The big question in most of your lips is when you should retire. And today we're going to look at 5 reasons to retire as soon as possible. Make sure you stick around till the end, as the last one may surprise you a little, coming from a financial advisor. There are fairly obvious reasons as to why you may need to continue working, income benefits, pension contributions, etc. But at some point, the marginal benefit of these dollars begins to fade and actually starts to cost you to keep working. The concept of diminishing returns is something to be wary of. That is the case when one of these 5 factors starts to come into your life. So what are the 5 reasons it might be time for you to retire? Reason number 1 is time. You can always make more money in this world, but there's one trade you can't go back on. Money comes and goes, but time doesn't play by the same rules. You've probably all heard the saying, time is money. And when you're younger and don't have an awful lot of money, that's true. You certainly are willing to sacrifice a bit of time for some extra money. As you get older though, this statement proves to be more and more wrong. Money is in fact time. Once you've accumulated enough money, time becomes much more important to you. In my position, I've seen clients retire to what they expect to be a long and happy retirement. But sadly, sometimes the world has other plans, and that long and happy retirement turned quickly into illness and a departure from this earth. At that point, they certainly weren't wishing they had more money. They would have gladly exchanged it all for a little bit more sand in their hourglass. Look, I'm not suggesting that you go all out and tell your boss where to go tomorrow. You have to strike the right balance and be in a sound financial position. But just make sure you understand how important time really is. If you dream of travelling the world in your later years, make sure you plan to be spry enough to do so. You never know what tomorrow has in store. Next up is health. As we've already touched on, nobody has a crystal ball for determining how long we'll enjoy this thing we call life. There is absolutely no reason to work so long and hard that your health foots the bill. No job in the world is more important than your health, other than parenthood maybe. They may be rascals, but they're worth it. Remember, your health is your children's wealth. If you're someone who loves their job and enjoys getting up in the morning and doing their thing, then all power to you. For those in that situation though, I would ask yourself this one question. No matter how much you love the job, is the stress of the job worth your health? You may not think of your job as particularly stressful. You're good at it, you've been doing it for so long, but there is stress nonetheless. The stress of deadlines, the stress of trying to make everybody happy, the stress of dealing with other stressed people on a daily basis. They all tally up. Stepping away from that and giving yourself the time to de-stress, exercise and eat right could ultimately extend your time on this earth and allow you to enjoy yourself for longer. But don't take my word for it. Let's look at the data. This chart on psychological well-being is very telling and suggests that the sooner we dial back the work, the sooner we turn enjoyment and well-being up to 11. The third reason to retire as soon as possible lives down the street from health. The friendly neighbour known as energy. Now, anybody, including myself, can go out and slam a couple of Red Bulls and feel like the Hulk, but the reality is that the older we get, the less energy we have. Your best years are limited, so don't waste them. If you've listened to some of my videos before, you'll have heard me refer to the 3 phases of retirement. The go-go years, then the slow-go years, followed by the no-go years. You want to capitalise on the go-go years when you can, as this is when you have the most energy to burn. When you're 80 years old, do you really want to get in that plane and travel 24 hours to Australia? Probably not. And that's before you get into the fact that travel insurance tends to be a wee bit costly at that age. The fourth reason to retire as soon as possible is relationships. During our working years, it becomes harder to maintain relationships. You spend the days working your butt off, and you come home to the kids running around like lunatics and everything that needs to be done around the house. Maintaining relationships is hard enough, making new ones is even harder. At the end of the day, it all comes down to that little devil we know as time. If you're in a position where retirement is financially doable, make sure you ask yourself what is costing you in terms of your relationships with friends and family. Do you really want to go to work every day? Or would you prefer spending more valuable time with your parents, your siblings, your kids and your friends? Chances are it's the latter. Although you can always tell your in-laws that you're working overtime. No harm, no foul. The fifth and final reason to retire as soon as possible is the one that I hinted at earlier, which may surprise you a little, coming from a financial advisor. Many of you are financially ready, even though you don't feel like it. Maybe your retirement goal is to get an income of $7,500 a month, and you're currently sitting at $6,500 a month. Is it really worth working another 3 or 4 years just to get to that number? Or are there some things that you can tweak and cut back on that would allow you to retire sooner? Humans have adapted to new environments and circumstances throughout our existence. I obviously don't know most of you listening to this, so don't take what I'm saying here as gospel. I mean, you know your situation better than anyone, but at least give it some thought. All retirement plans are based on future assumptions that are unknown. A good financial advisor will make conservative projections, but that's all they are at the end of the day, projections. If you are close to your desired goal, but maybe you're not quite there, chances are you'll be able to make it work with a few small changes. The most dangerous phrase you hear for those close to retirement is one more year. Your government pensions will be a little higher in one more year, your investment portfolio will be a little higher in one more year, and it'll be one more year less that you have to spend money. The other way to look at it is, though, it could be a year or two shaved off your life due to added stress. I realise not everybody has this luxury, but if you do, just make sure your work fits into helping and not hindering you realise your ideal life. Work can help cover your expenses, but at the end of the day, it can become the most taxing expense in your life. So that's it for today, folks. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please hit the like and subscribe button before you go so you don't miss another episode. Bye for now.